Guten Erev Shabbos. This video will continue the discussion that we began last week about how to navigate difficult conversations with kindness and compassion. In the beginning of this week's Parsha, the book of Shmois, the pasuk says, "Ve'elu Shmois b'nei Yisrael habayim Mitzrayim." These are the names of Yisrael's sons who came to Mitzrayim, and the pasuk enumerates all the children and the family of Yisrael. Says Rashi, even though the Torah already enumerated the family members during their lifetime, when they actually went down to Mitzrayim, says Rashi, it enumerates them again here upon their death to show us how beloved they are to Hashem, which is manifest by that which they are compared to the stars, which Hashem also takes out and brings in by number and by name. Interesting that Rashi uses these two words to describe how Hashem counts the Jews, by number and by name. These two ideas highlight two aspects of the people who are being enumerated. When you say they're being counted, the term counted indicates an equality, that each and every one is one number. That indicates a level of equality. When you talk about that they're enumerated with by name, you're talking about the individual abilities, individual makeup of every person, which is distinctly different than anybody else. You see, each and every one of us is, of course, part of the community and is one. At the same time, we are different, we're special, we're unique, we have our own mission, we have our own identity, which we must celebrate and which we must respect each one of the other. Which brings me back to the conversation of navigating a difficult conversation. You see, in every difficult conversation, there's the what happened conversation. Last week we spoke about the feelings, the emotions of the conversation, but there's also the identity of the conversation. You see, let's say a parent comes to a teacher and complains about how the teacher's teaching. Or let's say the teacher comes to the parent and talks to the parent about how their child is behaving. What usually happens, possibly happens, is that the person not only feels attacked about, emotional about the fact that they're being attacked, but their very identity becomes attacked. The parent all of a sudden is really questioning in this conversation, does that person think I'm really not a qualified parent? The teacher feels, do they think I'm not qualified and capable as a teacher? So we have to be cognizant of the fact that in this conversation there are numerous things going on. We have to, of course, understand what happened. We have to be sensitive to the emotions of the parent. And at the same time, we have to protect, honor, and celebrate their identity and recognize that, yes, we're not saying that they're not a good teacher. We're not saying they're not a good parent. We're not saying they're not a good person. But rather, we're just trying to work something out for the betterment of the child, for the betterment of the other person. Have a wonderful Shabbos.